Hey guys, and in this Squishmallow tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made my very own Cow Squishmallows, which I call SquisyMishys. So these are completely customizable to whatever you want them to look like. And if you want to follow along and make your own, definitely click the link in the description of this video and go ahead and download that pattern. Once you download the patterns, you'll see that you get both a large Cow SquisyMishy and a small Cow SquisyMishy pattern. So go ahead and tape them together just like I have them here in order of numbers. In my patterns, I've created extra pattern pieces that I actually won't be using in the tutorial, but I gave them to you so you can create an extra custom Squishmallow. So here are the pieces that I'm going to be using. The spots are there, but I'll show you how to lay them out. I'm actually not going to use them. All right, so I'm using a Minky plush, a little white fleece that has a stretch, and this plush cow print. So now to cut out all of my pattern pieces, what I'm going to do is first lay them all out on the wrong side of the plush. Before I do any cutting or marking, I make sure they all fit. And you're going to make sure the pile of plush goes downwards. And now I like to use my pattern weights, and then I trace around and then cut on the line. So I've created these markings to either snip the fabric or make a little marking on the fabric so I know where the other patterns match right at that point. You'll see when I'm putting it together what I mean. Now that I have all the pattern pieces, I'll show you here the front body piece with the little marks cut out there, and then I have the snout cut out with the markings as well, and then the back body piece I have my 4 horns and also my 4 pieces of ears, and then the bottom of my SquisyMishy. So now if you want to use the spots, go ahead and cut out your spots in whatever fabric you want and lay them out wherever you'd like here. I'm not going to use it because I already have a spotted print. The next step is to sew the darts on the snout piece. My Squishmallow tutorial, why don't you subscribe so you could stay up to date with all my latest videos? Just go ahead and click on the link at the top right there. Next, I'm going to attach the snout to the front body piece. So flip it over so the wrong sides are facing me. I'm going to match these little cut marks I made here first. First on this side and then on the other, and then you'll see how I'm going to make this snout fit all around that open oval. So as I sew around this oval area, I'm always stopping. You can see it's not one steady stream of sewing line. I'm stopping and always fixing the plush because it does tend to shift around even though I pinned it. All right, looking good so far. So the next step is I'm going to actually create the ears. So I'm going to take the ears and put them right sides together, just checking which side is the right side of the fleece. And what I'm going to do is pin them together so of course it doesn't move when I sew. And I'm going to sew all the way around, back stitching on the ends, leaving the bottom open. So my ears came out great and looking adorable. And now what I'm going to do with the same exact sewing method is I'm going to put together the horns. My next step is to lay out the horns and the ears on the front of the Squishmallow exactly where I want them and how I want them. So I'm going to fold over this cow ear like this, because it does look more like a cow ear that way. And what I'm going to do is just give it a straight stitch on the machine right down here. Now again, once I have them where I want them, I will flip it over this way, making sure a little bit of the end sticks out. So again, right in place, flip it over here. And same one here, making sure they're quite symmetrical and at the same height. And then the same thing with the horns. When I have them right where I want them, I'm going to just pin them in place so they don't move. And you'll see that I'm going to give each one a really simple straight stitch just to hold it in place. And I'm going to sew right along the edge of the actual front body. So just a straight stitch towards the edge of the front body, just like that. Now the next step is to take the back body and put them right sides together and just pin it all in place. So I like to start with the corners first. I pin that in place first, then I'll pin the other corner, and then I work my way all the way around the curve. As I'm pinning, if I feel like this piece is larger, which it's not, I just push that fabric towards the center. And now I sew all the way around, back stitching on the ends. And the funnest part is always turning it right side out to see what it looks like. So, looking cute. The next step is to attach the bottom of this Cow Squishmallow. So using those little marks, I'm going to flip this guy wrong side out again, and I'm going to match the marks with the side seams together first. So I'll do this side and then I'll do the opposite side. And just like I worked around the other curve, I'm going to make this round bottom fit. And now I'm going to sew all the way around, leaving an opening on the back side here, enough for my hand to fit in. So I'm going to start sewing at one of the opening marks. And this Cow Squishmallow is looking adorable now that I flip it all around. All it needs is the funnest part, or maybe the second funnest part, the stuffing. I have it filled to a point that I like, so I'm going to use the double threaded needle and I'm just going to stitch close this opening. So I'm kind of using like an overcast stitch. I don't have to do an invisible stitch because the Plush is amazing. It will hide your stitches. At the end of the stitching, I put the needle through the loop to create a knot. I do that twice, and then I put the needle through the stuffing and out any end and cut it so the ending of the thread is in the stuffing. Time for the eyes. So I cut out the eyes out of black felt, and you can see the other one there is kind of getting lost in the black, so I cut out another white felt there, just sort of to make that second one show and pop up. So with double threaded needle, I'm going to sew this eye on using a back stitch around the circumference of the entire black circle. And for the second eye, I'm going to do the same thing with white thread first, and then put the black eye right on top of the white circle and repeat the steps. And now with some embroidery floss, I am going to put in the nostril details for this cow. And that's how easy it was to make your own Cow Squishmallows, or what I call SquisyMishys. So if you really enjoyed this Squishmallow tutorial and love to make more Squishmallows, why don't you check out the other Squishmallow tutorials of mine right up here on the screen. Thanks for watching.